Just a couple of things to wrap up.
Senator's the floor.
I'm sorry, yeah, speaking to the floor sub, thank you. I think you all, other speakers pretty much laid it out. Just a couple of points I want to make. First of all, we have independently elected Commonwealth attorneys in this state for a reason. They're independent constitutional officers. The reason we elect them locally is to exercise their discretion about their local values, their local priorities, and what's important in their jurisdictions. And that's why we have independent constitutional officers and why we don't let them be hired by the Board of Supervisors or a city council. There's all kinds of statutes that right now they choose not to prosecute. When's the last time you heard of an adultery prosecution? I know of one adultery prosecution in the last 50 years in Virginia, and that's still a misdemeanor on our books. When's the last time you've seen, for example, speeding 1 to 10 miles an hour actually initiated or prosecuted through to conclusion? There's lots of things that aren't prosecuted right now today. When I introduced this bill in the regular session, when I brought it to the court's crim subcommittee, and I explained to everybody that we needed to put something in the code because there were judges might not drop a case when the prosecutor said that, the members of the crim subcommittee looked at me and said, "Who's ever heard of that?" And then 2 weeks later, the news hit that in Arlington County, the judges weren't doing it, and then a month later in Norfolk, they weren't doing it. That's why this bill is needed. And all this does is it takes our laws pretty much back to where they were for about the last 100 years until about 6 months ago, or about 5 years ago in case of the deferred dismissals. But it restores our system. It's a good bill. Again, aside from maybe the senator from Rockingham, I don't know of any organizations that have a problem with it or any prosecutors that have stood up and said that they got a problem with the bill. I think it's a good bill. We ought to pass it. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Senator. Question is, shall the floor substitute be adopted? All in favor of the motion will say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The floor substitute is adopted. Senator from Eastern Fairfax, Senator Surrovell.
Thank you, Mr. President. Move the bill pass.
Senator's the floor.
Nothing else to say, Mr. President. I hope we pass the bill.
Thank the senator. Do any other senators wish to be heard regarding House Bill 5062? Seeing none, the question is, shall House Bill 5062 pass? All in favor of the motion will record their vote aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Do any senators desire to change their vote? Clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 31, noes 9.
Ayes 31, noes 9. House Bill